At the House of Assembly, I'm Lakush Lapinder. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Northern Bahamas, hours away from tropical storm conditions. We have team coverage as Hurricane Milton nears. Also bracing for any impact, residents heed warnings and make their final preparations. And positioned just off Florida's coast, Bimini's command center is active. We have the details.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition start now.
Prime Minister Philip Davis urging residents of the Northern Bahamas and surrounding Keys to take precautions ahead of the approaching Hurricane Milton. Good evening all, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Though the storm is not expected to pose a significant threat as a direct hit from a hurricane, the Prime Minister stressed the need for vigilance and preparedness.
The Net Office advises that as Hurricane Milton passes over Florida, tropical storm winds will be experienced on Abaco, Bimini, and Grand Bahama, and as I said earlier, the surrounding Keys.
Tropical storm conditions, including heavy rainfall and possible flooding, are expected in the Northern Bahamas between Wednesday, October 9th and Thursday, October 10th. While Hurricane Milton is not predicted to make landfall in the North Bahamas, Prime Minister Davis urging residents to stay informed and pay close attention to updates.
The broadcast alert system has already been activated on all mobile phones in the country. Please pay attention to the alerts and follow the advice given. ZNS and other news outlets will broadcast further alerts and updates as they are issued.
The Northern Bahamas is no stranger to severe weather, and the Prime Minister stresses that there is no need to panic as the projected path of Milton suggests the islands will avoid a direct hit. Despite this, Prime Minister Davis encouraged residents to focus on staying safe even in less severe conditions.
If your home is at risk of flooding, go and stay with a friend or relative whose home may not face such risk. Stock up on water, food, batteries, and so on, as you would when facing a direct threat of a hurricane. Clear anything from your property which may be blown around in the wind. Protect your doors and windows. Raise your furniture or other household valuables off the floor in case of the flooding. And of course, and more importantly, protect yourselves.
The Prime Minister added that Bahamians have weathered such storms before and emerged resilient. He urges everyone to remain vigilant, prepared, and ready to act if necessary.
Our government stands prepared to take every necessary measure to protect lives, property, and communities. I want to thank you, and may God continue to bless and protect the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Well, the Minister for Grand Bahama and Member of Parliament for West, Grand Bahama and Bimini stressing that while the Northern Bahamas faces only a tropical storm threat, being prepared is essential. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has more on this report.
Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge and the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxy, along with the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Kingsley Smith, are demonstrating their dedication to ensuring that the Disaster Consultative Committee is well equipped and prepared for any impacts of Hurricane Milton.
Just, trying to get the word out, make sure everyone is doing their part, and we believe that we are going to be okay.
The minister reflects on Hurricane Dorian and the lasting impact it had on residents. In light of past devastation, she emphasizes that improving hurricane preparedness is now more crucial than ever.
I think that we're handling it, we're managing it, the expectations as well, and so that's why the weather department have been so focused on not trying to alarm, but to educate.
The Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Kingsley Smith Jr., acknowledges that despite the storm's current path, storms unexpectedly change directions.
And so you may have on the southern side of the island, you may have some seas that come over, some water that comes onto the land based on from the breeze or the wind pushing.
The West Grand Bahama Disaster Consultative Committee collaborated with the NGO Bahama Rock ahead of the storm to provide sandbags for residents. Smith emphasizes that corporate collaboration as such is essential.
Would have proposed that they would do for some months now. And so now that there is a pending threat of a storm, the sign was placed at the entrance of Bahama Rock.
Minister Moxy and Mr. Smith are also urging residents to exercise caution and is advising those that live near the water to move further inland, emphasizing the importance of not taking anything for granted. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
Thanks, Jolanda. Now, again, as officials remind the Northern Bahamas not to panic, a plan is in place for those who may need to move to a shelter. According to Assistant Director of Social Services, Jody Burrows, the following locations will be opened tomorrow: the Forster B. Pastina Center at 8 a.m., the 8 Mile Rock Gym at 9 a.m., Maurice Moore Primary at 9 a.m.
We expect persons to behave in an exemplary manner. You know, we wouldn't expect anything less. However, previous storms and opening shelters have obviously dictated otherwise. We have Defense Force officers who are normally in shelters with us to keep the peace as peace officers, and the police officers make rounds on a regular basis once the storm is not traveling at that moment.
Now, Burrows adds that persons seeking shelter should also bring medicine and any important items they may need. The airport is among 6 of the country's airports closing as Hurricane Milton churns in the Atlantic Ocean. Director of Aviation Kenneth Romo lists those closures as he says officials have been monitoring the weather.
Tower International Airport that will close official sunset today reopens on the 11th of October at 10 a.m. Tropical storm winds are expected to be between 40 to 58 miles per hour. Treasure Key airports, Morris Island Airport and Sandy Point airports will also be closing officially on the 9th of October this evening at the official sunset reopening at 10 a.m. on the 11th of October. Grand Bahama International Airport will close officially at 8 p.m. This evening, opening again at 10 a.m. on Friday, the 11th of October.
Now, Bimini International Airport closed at 2 p.m. while operations will resume at sunrise on Friday.
Again, tropical storm winds are attributed to the closure of this airport. We expect wind conditions to be between 40 to 58 miles per hour. Again, we spoke with the air traffic controllers who have liaison again with Florida, and the airports in Tampa, Fort Myers, and Orlando are currently closed. There is a pending closure for Palm Beach at 9 p.m. And at the moment, we expect the airport in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Key West to remain open. If there are changes to this update, we will certainly notify the public.
And as the Northern Bahamas remains under a tropical storm watch, residents are bracing for the impending effects of Category 5 Hurricane Milton, which is packing sustained winds at 165 miles per hour and expected to impact the region within hours. Local officials are urging urgent safety warnings and urging preparations for strong winds and potential coastal flooding. Our Raven Davis is standing by now with the latest.
That is correct, Remiko. We are coming to you live from the first floor of the Harold de Gregory building. Now, at this hour, we can tell you residents across the Northern Bahama Islands are anxiously awaiting Hurricane Milton's impact. Now, at last check, Hurricane Milton was a powerful Category 4 hurricane packing winds of sustained 145 miles per hour. Now, we did get a chance to speak to Senior Met Officer at the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, Ternard Tynes, who is giving the latest outlook for Grand Bahama for this evening.
This evening, we are just going to be on a light breeze, probably 10 to 15 knot winds. And then we're looking at overnight, around midnight. After midnight, you start to feel the breeze really pick up during that time as Hurricane Milton should be making landfall sometime this afternoon in the Tampa Bay area.
Some 20 counties in Florida on tornado watch, and local officials are on the lookout for possible tornadic activity. And as anxiety builds, Tyne says while storms can be unpredictable, it is unlikely Milton will take a direct aim at this region.
The most of the activity is going to be to the north of the system. But that not rule out that we're not going to get one or two isolated spots. We'll get some heavy shots. And but the main concern, what we are basically looking for, is basically the wind, and we probably get some coastal flooding due to wind-driven waves. We are outside of the cone of uncertainty. It's been like that for the past couple of days as well. So we have a definite handle that the system is not going to directly move across our area for sure. However, because of the proximity of the system, the size of the system is going to extend some wind bands all the way out to us.
For the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini, he says improvement can be expected by Friday morning or Friday afternoon.
And then for us, we should start feeling an improvement as we go into, let's say, Thursday night. And then the rest of Abaco and Walker's Key area, they will start to feel the effects leaving like Friday morning or so. Depending on if it picks up more speed, it'll be quicker. But the models are showing that they stayed in the same pace, so we're going to stay in the range of Thursday and Friday. We will see a gradual improvement.
Well, Ramiko, just outside, things have not changed much since earlier today. We do have a bit more activity in terms of the wind, but no rain shower at this time. Well, Tynes is assuring residents that they should hunker down and just enjoy the breeze. He also is advising those residents to steer clear of the shorelines, especially those in West End, where they can expect some 3 to 4 feet of flooding. Reporting live from the first floor of the Harold Gregory building, I'm Raven Davis. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, Raven, outside of our studios. While residents on Grand Bahama are not taking any chances and stocking up on the bare essentials, our ZNS News team took to the streets to see how shopping has been going. Shane Stubbs provides the details in this report.
Residents aren't taking the tropical storm warning placed on the northwest of Bahamas lightly as Hurricane Milton prepares to make landfall over in Florida. Here in the downtown area, residents are doing their last-minute shopping for food items, taking every precaution for what's to come.
While the threat is not as significant as that of a hurricane threat posed to our neighbors in Florida, we still need to take it seriously.
With official warning going forth, some residents sprung into action, gearing up with the bare necessities.
We're here getting some water and some canned goods and some unperishable stuff, just in case if we get an impact.
Most of us, we have our children, grandchildren, and so, call around, make sure that they're good.
Some gas, water, bread, and stuff like that, I don't want to go overboard because, sometimes get too excited and you do overshop.
Meanwhile, at appliance and hardware stores around town, managers noticed an even flow of customers, indicating that there was no overshopping. It was a welcoming sight to see everyone not taking chances.
And what they're doing is they're making sure that they have at least the basic essentials.
They're coming in a little slow, I guess, waiting at the last minute. Preparation is always the key. It's best to have it and don't need it, and to need it and don't have it.
Now, while forecasters are predicting life-threatening conditions for our neighbors to the west of us ahead of imminent landfall, residents are sending out their well wishes and prayers, as we're all too familiar with the catastrophic effects of such a powerful storm.
Well, I pray that they be ready for the storm, and I pray that they evacuate like how the government and stuff tell them to evacuate.
I am very phobic when you hear of this kind of thing, and then hearing that it will hit the coast with approximately category 4 or 5, that's still fresh in my mind.
I just hope and pray that God spare and protect the people in Orlando. I mean, we've been through it. I've been through it with Dorian, and it's no fun. It's hard. It's tough. So I just hope and pray that they're safe and they make it through it.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Now, the Emergency Operations Center on Grand Bahama is now fully activated, and residents in need of assistance can contact 351-4902 or 351-4903.
still to come.
When we come back,
West Grand Bahama is prone to floods. Hear how officials are preparing to safeguard residents in the west as they anticipate tropical storm conditions.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians. Bahamians helping Bahamians.
On down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Don't miss the 25% National Heroes Day sale at Park & Shop, excluding underwear and red tag items this October 11th and 12th. The Paint Fair family has made the move to their new location on Bellevue Lane off of Queens Highway. Visit the store and join the selfie competition to win free paint to remake your home. Follow them on Instagram or Facebook for all the details today. Calling all vendors. The 2025 Grand Bahama Chunk Canoe Parade vendor applications are now available. Collect your application from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture on Region Center East, West Explorers Way. The deadline is October 18th. For more information, call 351-6667.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Now to this breaking news. Cabinet has advised that due to the projected course of Hurricane Milton and forecast weather associated with it to impact the Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini, all essential services will be closed tomorrow, Thursday, October 10th. Well, in other news, as Grand Bahama braces for the incoming effects of Hurricane Milton, residents are in full preparation mode, stocking up on the essential like loaves of bread. Matthew Martinborough reports.
It's a popular item for residents once a storm is impending. Fresh bread, particularly from stores like this one within the Pindas Point community.
You have to try to get what you can while you can, you know.
Everybody that's going, running around, shopping, doing all that shopping.
If your neighbor don't have bread, give your neighbor a loaf of bread. Let us look out for one another in this time and in this season as we go through this.
With residents rushing to get themselves loaves to get through the incoming storm, bakery owners like Daryl Pinder of Bread of Life are more than happy to assist the community with the baked goods.
We hold our own and our customers, and we try our best to continue to offer them good quality product. And that's what we're about. We'll do our best to try to give good customer service, and hopefully we could please you guys in that respect.
Although weather conditions are getting worse, residents are ensuring that they go the extra mile to be prepared for whatever Milton has coming our way. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Thanks, Matthew. Well, the West Grand Bahama community is one area that is prone to flooding. Officials assessing the area earlier today. Our Jay Philippe was there and joins us live with the latest. Jay.
Well, Ramiko, the breeze has certainly picked up in West Grand Bahama. I'm at the ICC, which is the Incident Command Center in 8 Mile Rock at the Obadiah Wilshcombe Government Complex. I would have made 2 trips down here today. My cameraman and I, we would have traversed into 8 Mile Rock and also in West End. We saw a number of residents, concerned residents that is, making last-minute preparations as far as purchasing household items, water, and different stuff, necessities needed for the tropical storm. I also had an opportunity to sit in a briefing with the Minister for Grand Bahama and the Member of Parliament for West End and Bimini, where they made some plans and made provisions as residents in 8 Mile Rock and West End can expect to feel impact of tropical storm conditions as early as midnight. One of the focuses in West Grand Bahama has been the clearing of drainages, which is expected to prevent water from accumulating.
The Ministry of Works has now mobilized and clearing all the drains from Hebron Town straight into West End. And as far as the area of Texaco, Martin Town, that holds water. So it's good to know that they are being blown.
I'm happy to see the drainage being cleared. I think all hands are on deck. We have all of the various agencies fully functioning and ready to go. Happy to hear the report from the Met Office, who briefed us this morning as well.
According to Senior Met Officer in the Department of Meteorology, Trinidad Tynes, West Grand Bahama and Bimini will feel tropical storm effects of Hurricane Milton as early as midnight with 15 to 25 miles per hour winds. The news of possible heavy rains has these residents in preparation mode, securing food items for their households.
I like getting some canned good stuff together, do a little cooking and chill out and watch the weather. We're trying to get things together, little things that could keep you going until you could see it better.
I tell you the truth. If you listen to the weather, we can have winds and rains. I think we could take that.
The Obadiah Wilshcombe Government Complex will serve as the Incident Command Center for West Grand Bahama, which is now activated for residents in the Western District.
We are activated, and the command center, we would have given out the emergency telephone numbers to the public. We would have had it circulated, and as you see, that we have persons here to answer the telephone calls.
The Department of Social Services is indeed ready. The 8 Mile Rock Gym will be open tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to accept shelterees if there is a need.
Now, that Incident Command Center, which I spoke about, is located on the 3rd floor of the Obadiah Wilshcombe Complex. Now, we do have a show at 8 p.m. later on tonight, and at that time, I'll be able to give you more information as the Incident Command officials and persons inside are gathering thoughts as far as what's going to happen. So, Miko, I'll talk to you again at 8 p.m. reporting from the Obadiah Wilshcombe Government Complex. I'm Jay Philippe. Back to you in studio.
Thanks so much, Jay. Well, over on the island of Bimini, residents are definitely ready for the impending storm. Family Island Administrator Eva K. Arthur has an update.
About making their final preparations ahead of this storm in a few hours. But the weather right now is, the breeze has picked up and the seas are raging, but it's still the skies are still clear at the moment. There's no rain at the moment. And so that's the conditions of the weather right now. When I went out today, the stores didn't have much people in it this morning, and because persons would have already done their final preparations. Well, a few persons up and about getting their final stuff done. But other than that, I think everybody has already done what they're supposed to do. And we're just waiting, we're just watching and waiting right now.
Now, there are 2 designated shelters on the island of Bimini. The shelters are activated, and she tells us that already 1 resident is taking advantage of the facilities.
We have 1 shelter at the moment, 1 person assigned in so far, and that's at the Louise McDonald High School. And the other shelter would be the Urban Renewal Center. No one has signed in for that shelter as yet. All hands are on deck. The Royal Bahamas Police Force, they're waiting and they're ready. Social service workers, they are ready. Everyone is just a wait and watch game from here. But we are prepared and we are ready to go.
Now, once again, residents of Bimini and the Keys are prepared for the storm, and following all of this, protocols pertaining to the dangerous storm. Stay with us, the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition is back right after this.
It's KB and Friends live in concert at the Grand Lacaille Ballroom Sunday, October 13th. Gates open at 6 p.m. and the show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets are $60 in advance, $80 at the door. Sponsored by the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry for Grand Bahama, and Extreme Auto.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
One of the biggest decisions you will make when remodeling a kitchen is the design choice for your kitchen cabinets. Whether you want your kitchen to look modern or traditional, the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets will make a sound choice. Stop into Conard Bahamas today and let them enhance your kitchen with the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets. At Conard Bahamas, they also carry an array of Calacatta quartz countertops. Conard Bahamas, Sandy Port Nassau, Freeport Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies.
Nobody
does it better.
Welcome back. As Hurricane Milton approaches, officials from the Grand Bahama Power Company have assured the public that a storm response plan has been activated. The Director of Customer Operations says GBPC has taken all the necessary steps to ensure they are ready to respond and restore power as safely as possible. Additionally, all vehicles and equipment have been fully stocked and prepared for any potential challenges. And while there are no scheduled controlled shutdowns at this time, there is a possibility of isolated outages.
To do so once conditions allow and it is safe to do so, we will promptly restore power. I would also like to strongly encourage everyone to stay indoors and avoid venturing out immediately or during the storm, as there may be down power lines, fallen trees, or potentially even flooding in certain areas. Our lines may appear to be inactive, however, they can still be energized and pose serious risks to individuals who may come in contact with them.
Don't go away, the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition is back after this.
October 13th. Due to the logistics and unstable weather pattern, we had to take it inside the Grand Lacaille Ballroom. I'm a boatman. Featuring KB, Gino D, Nishi LS, T-Mac, Sweet Emily, Elon Moxy, Funky D, Lil Joe Cartwright, Sherrod Taylor, Wilfred Solomon, Veronica Bishop, Stevie S, Mama D, Colin McDonald, Papa Smurf, Shine 242, Recon Bahamas, Chad Golly and the VIP, special guest from Turks and Caicos, the Provision Bag, and host Super P. Sunday, October 13th at the Grand Lacaille Ballroom. Doors open at 6 p.m. Showtime at 8 p.m. Admission $60. Tickets are available now at Pennyworth, Brenda's Booth, Coffee's on the Bay, Gizmos and Gadgets, and Signature Choices. For more info, phone 819-2233 Bahamas and 649-231-0018. TCI. I'm a boatman. Sunday, October 13th at the Grand Lacaille Ballroom. KB and Fred. Sponsored by the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry for Grand Bahama, and Extreme Auto.
Jade Champagne and The Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley, live. Saturday, December 14th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. Doors open at 8 p.m., showtime 11 p.m. For 102.7 The Rhythm. Big birthday party with Taurus Riley, live. Get tickets online now, therhythm3.com. And it's a big performance. Taurus Riley. Brought to you by Jade Champagne and The Rhythm. Saturday, December 14th, 102.7 The Rhythm. Turns 3 with Taurus Riley, live.
City of Freeport Council is here to remind you that preparedness saves lives. We know the importance of being prepared.
Stay updated on the latest weather forecasts and advisories.
Secure your home. Reinforce doors and windows. Trim trees and branches around your property. Protect your home to minimize damages later.
Stay informed. Keep a battery-powered radio or smartphone with emergency alerts enabled.
We're all in this together. Let's ensure that everybody is safe and prepared.
Let's stand together. This hurricane season, prepared and resilient. Your City of Freeport Council is committed to keeping you safe.
Your #1 team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that is going to do it for us here in the north. I'm Abaco Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to join us again for a special 1-hour broadcast on Hurricane Milton at 8 p.m. right here on the ZNS Network.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, Bahamians in Florida speak. Hear what precautions these students are taking while they ride out the expected battering of menacing Hurricane Milton. Also, while Florida is at a standstill, Hurricane Milton's pending arrival doesn't seem to be stopping cruise arrivals to the Bahamas. Hear how some visitors are taking it all in stride. And a weather pattern of another kind shaking up residents of an eastern New Providence community. We have the details of the damage wrought and who came to the rescue. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now. Everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Menacing Milton closing in on Florida, with U.S. forecasters predicting the worst as residents hope and pray for the best. Already coined the storm of the century, Milton said to be packing storm surges that could reach 15 feet above ground level with catastrophic flash flooding. Here at home, local officials have admonished Bahamians in the impacted areas to take every precaution, and in doing so, to allow calm heads to prevail. All joining us in studio to give us the very latest on Hurricane Milton and what conditions we can expect is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening.
Good evening, Makisha. Let me at the outset state that there's no need to panic, even though Milton is closing in on the west coast of Florida. At 5 o'clock, the center was some 60 miles to the west-southwest of Sarasota, Florida. It's moving towards the northeast at a very good clip now, 17 miles per hour. And once it moves inland, we expect further weakening of this system, but it will remain hurricane intensity as it crosses the peninsula. And on the Atlantic side, tomorrow when it emerges off the east coast of Florida, we expect it to continue to weaken, and by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the center of circulation is expected to be just north of Grand Bahama, some 100 miles to the north of Grand Bahama, and by 8 o'clock in the evening, about 100 miles to the north of Abaco. And if you look at the wind field of this system, the tropical storm force winds extend outward some 255 miles from the center, meaning us here in New Providence, we are completely out of that field, so we should be pretty much okay here. Grand Bahama and Abaco, they will get some fresh breezes, perhaps 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting occasionally up to 40 miles per hour or slightly higher in squally showers. And those showers will be of an isolated nature, as we only anticipate 1 or 2 rain bands to move across the islands tomorrow. And right now, 120 miles per hour is the maximum sustained wind, making it a Category 3 hurricane as it is about to make landfall on Sarasota, Florida.
That weakening, all very good news for us. But are there any other systems out there that we should be worried or even keep an eye out for out there?
We are currently monitoring a couple out in the far eastern Atlantic, but all the computer models are suggesting that they will all turn towards the northwest, meaning they will not reach us in the near future.
Well, you'll hear more from Basil Dean, Chief Meteorologist, in Access Now. It goes without saying, though, that there are many Bahamians living directly in the path of Hurricane Milton, many of whom heeded the advice to evacuate as the dangerous storm approaches Florida. Today's ZNS News spoke with 2 Bahamian students who moved to what they're hoping is safer ground. Matea Cunningham reports.
Hurricane Milton has abruptly disrupted the day-to-day routine for Bahamians living in Central and South Florida. The last 48 hours for them has been filled with emotions such as panic, anxiety, confusion, and fear, as they're knowingly at risk for being caught in the path of the Category 4 terror. Fortunately, some Bahamians made it back home through Bahamas Air's Orlando flight, while others made other provisions. Rashante Sumner, a 2019 graduate of Anatole Rogers High School, moved just outside of Tampa to ride out Milton.
I don't have the headache of having to be afraid of coming back to a home that most likely won't be there. Like those people down in South Tampa, they most likely won't have a home once they come back from the hurricane, just because the storm surge are supposed to be like 15 feet. Even though I on the 2nd floor, I'm more so scared of the fact that it may be so flooded out there that we can't leave if let's say the roof start leaking or get lifted off or anything like that. I just you know what, let me just go. Let me just go from my apartment and go where there are, more resources.
We also spoke with a few Bahamians previously located or based in the projected impact areas. Cherish Pennerman moved and now feels safe.
Milton does remind me of Hurricane Dorian due to its wind strength and storm surges. So I do hope that everyone on the West Coast and Central Florida was able to evacuate and prepare. The area that I evacuated to is safe. It is not in the cone of the storm, and I am not in a flooding zone.
Although these Bahamian students are still in Central Florida, concerns can begin to ease knowing that they are taking the necessary risk and available measures to relocate out of the direct path of Hurricane Milton. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Matea Cunningham.
Well, thanks, Matea. Now, another Bahamian living in Tampa, Pastor Shivargo Lightbourne, initially chose to stay in town despite the dire warnings to evacuate. He says he and his wife had taken in elderly neighbors. However, this afternoon, those plans changed.
We got a lot of emergency vehicles that are on the road right now. We're headed south to try to get out of this. But there is a lot of people on the road right now trying to get out. We decided at the last minute to get out of this traffic, to get out of this whole storm, because right now it's looking to be a Category 4 when it hits us, so we definitely don't want to be there for a 4. So we are trying to make it down to Miami area. Our goal was to stay, but at the last minute we had to make a decision to leave. So we are on the roads right now. It's about 12:15 p.m. and it doesn't expect to hit the Tampa area until probably about 8 to 11 o'clock tonight.
Now, as the haunting of Hurricane Dorian lingers, residents in the northern Bahamas are readying themselves for Hurricane Milton's fierce outer bands, prompting officials to send a stern warning not to take this storm for granted. Devontae Hanna is on the story.
Tonight, residents in the northern Bahamas brace for impact.
Within the next 24 hours, it is important that you do all that you can to stay safe.
As meteorologists predict, Abaco, Bimini, and Grand Bahama in the coming hours will feel tropical storm conditions from Hurricane Milton's outer bands, bringing up to 10 inches of rain and more expected across the Bahamas.
For the northwest, we expect 3 to 5 inches of rainfall with isolated maximums around 8 inches. For the central, we expect 1 to 2 inches with isolated maximum of around 4 inches of rainfall.
Hurricane Milton is now an extremely dangerous Category 4 storm with life-threatening wind gusts and storm surge. For the Bahamas, though, a major concern is flooding. This as the Minister of Works, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, revealed work is already underway to prevent a long-term stay of water.
You'll see that the water is receding much quicker than times before. We did significant drainage cleaning throughout the islands. If you notice downtown, you notice that the water escapes much quicker than times before.
Tonight, the Disaster Risk Management Authority stands ready to spring into action in the face of tragedy.
The Central Abaco Pines School has been activated as a shelter, which would allow for those residents to relocate there temporarily as the effects of Hurricane Milton pass.
Forecasters say conditions should ease by Friday morning, with an expected all clear to be given by that evening. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanno.
Now, meantime, a change of plans for students attending schools here in New Providence, Andros, and the Berry Islands, and Eleuthera. The Ministry of Education announcing this evening that due to changing conditions, in-person classes will resume come Thursday, October 10th. Showers and thunderstorms associated with Hurricane Milton forecast to affect the northwest Bahamas this afternoon dissipated as it moved across South Florida earlier today. Now, this means the amount of rainfall that was expected to adversely affect those areas significantly decreased. The ministry adding that while some rainfall is expected tonight and Thursday, it would be insufficient to cancel school in the mentioned islands. Meantime, Cabinet Office advising that due to the projected path of Hurricane Milton and its associated weather, all government offices, with the exception of essential services, all government offices in Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini will be closed tomorrow. Coming up, Mother Nature's wrath leaves destruction in eastern New Providence. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
At Commonwealth Bank, we offer affordable and flexible choices to get you back to financial fitness. Our personalized debt consolidation solution is built to fit any financial situation. One easy-to-handle monthly payment reduces your monthly expenses and gets you back on track to savings. Life is great when you're not weighed down by debt. Consolidate and live your best life with Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
KFC is giving you more to love with our KFC Bucket Meals with large size. Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken, family fries, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, and 6 biscuits that feeds 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers and reach. KFC knows value, and it's finger licking good.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC, wherever your journey takes you.
Flight Food and Western Air. We hope that you enjoyed your flight and we look forward to serving you in the near future.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a shot of a beach on beautiful Long Island. Welcome back. Cruise passengers into Nassau didn't seem to be terribly bothered by Hurricane Milton's pending landfall. Corval Piper met many of them today as they arrived here in the capital, aware but unfazed.
Tonight, this couple from just outside Orlando is worried. Their Central Florida coast home is possibly in the bullseye of Hurricane Milton.
We are safe. The house might not be, but again, we can replace the house.
Just 2 weeks ago, they barely escaped the wrath of another monstrous storm, Helene.
Oh, I think everybody who's on the coast who just went through Helen, they still have destruction. They still have, and now they have to rethink about leaving.
Other passengers coming into the Nassau cruise port Wednesday were monitoring the weather, but not letting anything get in the way of their good time.
So we're not used to clouds and rain. It's just kind of throwing us off already. But
very similar to this, eh?
Yeah, very similar to this. A little more humid.
Right.
Yeah, it does horrible things for my hair, but other than that, looking good and enjoying the day.
No, we ain't had no storm, just rain when we first got here. Then we left there and got on the boat. Yeah. So you're still having a good time? Yeah, I'm still having a good time. All right. Yeah, everything's pretty out here. It's pretty. Yeah. All right, Louisville, Kentucky.
Others are taking it all in stride.
How do you feel about the fact that you have that extra day?
Half and half.
This visitor from near Charlotte dodged Helene's bullet, but understands how destructive these ferocious systems can be.
You know, the area I was in, luckily we didn't really get hit so bad, but like Gaston County, like a lot of the places surrounding, they got hit really bad.
While the couple from Florida's Central Coast is hoping for the best for their community and urging their neighbors to take this storm seriously.
And I feel like the fact that the mandatory evacuations, they better listen to that.
So far, there hasn't been word from any of the cruise liners about their plans for passengers as Milton readies for landfall in Florida's west and Gulf Coast, nor has there been any significant rerouting of vessels to our area as the storm passes. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Piper.
Well, busted windows, loosened shingles, uprooted trees, snapped branches, downed fences. Quite a scare for some residents of Claridge Cove subdivision off Marigold Farm Road, who yesterday got a taste of Mother Nature's wrath ahead of erratic Hurricane Milton making landfall in Florida. Today, they're counting their blessings.
The roof of our residence was destroyed. A number of plywoods have been destroyed and taken off of our roof. There's a lot of trees that are now down due to the heavy winds.
Listen, I was actually just watching television when I heard the big noise, like a loud wind, and I looked through the window, everything was basically swirling. And a few minutes, I wouldn't even say a few minutes, a few seconds, like you could count to 4, that's how fast it happened. And I came outside afterwards, looking at the neighbors and stuff. I went in the back of the yard. My shingles off the roof, the house is already leaking, and all the trees down in the back of the yard, and the fence is on the ground. Yep, I've never experienced nothing like this. It was scary.
I heard a clash in the front part of my house, just thinking that maybe with the heavy wind, there was one of the pictures came off the wall, came into my living room, and my living room roof was gone. Rain and wind gushing in. My whole living room was soaked in a matter of seconds.
Now, luckily, help came quickly.
And we are here, we assessed the damages. We brought some tarp, and we're going to deal with this situation as soon as possible.
Well, stay with us. Tips to avoid stalling out is after the break.
Enough the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
One of the biggest decisions you will make when remodeling a kitchen is the design choice for your kitchen cabinets. Whether you want your kitchen to look modern or traditional, the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets will make a sound choice. Stop into Conant Bahamas today and let them enhance your kitchen with the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets. At Conant Bahamas, they also carry an array of Calacatta quartz countertops. Conant Bahamas, Sandy Port Nassau, Freeport Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Join us for Exuma Business Outlook, October 17th at Grand Isle Resort. Find out what is driving positive change for the future of Exuma. Keynote speaker MP for Exuma and Deputy Prime Minister I. Chester Cooper. Engage with panelists and presenters on better outcomes for the economy, business development, sustainable infrastructure, airports and airlift, technology, and more. Register today at tclevents.com.
The streets of Nassau sustaining major flooding over the past few days. Our Danielle Dean spoke with a specialist who gave practical tips on how to avoid engine stalling.
Several days of heavy rain leading to flooded streets here in the capital. But what should motorists do when faced with high water levels? We spoke to Dwight Campbell, operations manager at Riders Auto Express, whose first piece of advice, a simple one.
As you drive through the water, particularly with the speed, what's going to happen is that the vehicle itself, the fan, it acts as a propeller. So it puts the water back to the engine. So you got the alternator, you got the starter, sometimes your belt slip. So slow down as you're driving through the water. Some of the cars do not have the mud guard that prevents the water from coming up.
Campbell further advises that as best as drivers can, they detour when they notice flooding. Although less likely, stalling out is still possible when going slow. For those who don't fall in either category and have already experienced vehicular damage,
sometimes you could just maybe try let the vehicle sit and let it dry out on its own. If that doesn't happen, just invite a trained technician and let them come by and do a diagnostic of the vehicle.
Other tips: follow closely behind the vehicle in front of you, staying within a safe distance. This helps ensure you're traveling along the safest path, as the leading vehicle can help identify any hazards or deeper sections of water. Immediately turn off the air conditioning if it's on. Leaving it on while driving through flooded areas can lead to water being drawn into the engine bay, potentially damaging the fan and risking engine stalling. Drive in the middle, as this is where the roads are usually higher. Stick to this section to also avoid soft verges or hidden obstacles. And lastly, keep moving. Continuously move forward without stopping for prolonged periods in flooded areas. Stopping for too long increases the risk of water entering the engine bay and causing damage. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks, Danielle. We're going to toss it to LaDawn and Marcellus, who are standing by sitting to give us a sneak peek of Access Now, guys.
Because we're women, and I know we love to go shopping for nice things, but Leno Corporate, they're going to tell us how to save a buck or two, right, Marcellus? I know you love to go shopping. These nice
first of all, you
suits
read wrong when you said we're women. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, okay, I totally get it. Yes. I totally understand.
Well, sounds good. Still to come, we highlight a ZNS milestone.
Let's go.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You could do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist know a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out to anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey. I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamas Air invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
$10 deal. Available only at Marco's Southwest, Prince Charles, Village Road, and Robinson Road. Mine, let me see what it's about. I'll take 20 of those, please. Wait. You good? Yeah, bro. Marcos, get this new deal. Get yourself a large one-topping pizza for only $10. $10? Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Hey, I need 30 of them $10 carry-out pizza deal, please.
A significant milestone for the well-known radio, youth, and gospel program Youth Perspective, hosted by our very own Keshagan Adderley. It's been a decade of engaging young listeners on topics of faith, personal growth, and community involvement. Since its inception, Youth Perspective has become a beacon for youth seeking to navigate their spiritual journeys while addressing contemporary issues. The show, which airs weekly, combines uplifting messages with relatable discussions, drawing in a diverse audience of young people eager to explore their relationship with God and each other.
The next generation, they are our next leaders, they are our next politicians, our next prime ministers, and so we need to be able to cater to them, and we need to be able to put our focus and our effort on getting them to where they need to be. Over the years, we've been able to interview authors as young as 8 years old. We've been able to interview youth organizations that are helping to shift and change and mold the next generation of our leaders. And so I think that will stick with me for as long as I live.
Listeners and fans expressing their appreciation for the show, crediting it with helping them navigate life's challenges through a faith-based lens.
I see myself being able to impact so many more lives, being able to give so many organizations, so many more young people a voice to be able to spread their message across for whatever they're doing, and so that they can continue to bring positivity in their community and also to the nation at large. Where you are now is not your final destination. And so know that wherever you are now, you could always bounce back, you could always do better, but it starts with you, all right? That's the most important factor. And so if you believe, you can achieve. And so just go after it and soar high, because I believe in you.
Some great advice there, Keshagan. And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Former Cacique Award winner and bartender at the Dollar Bar in Green Turtle Key, Debbie Simonet, shared with us her life story of over 40 years of service in the tourism and hospitality industry.
Well, my time working here has been nothing but fun, meeting people. Every day, new guests come in. And, you know, to see the return guests come back again. And right now, we're up to like 4 generations of guests coming back. And doing waitressing, maid job too, did everything. And then I finally got at the bar part-time. And then when I had my daughter, in '87, I became full-time at the world-famous Tipsy Turtle Dollar Bar, where later on I was nominated for the Cacique Award and won the Employee of the Year for all the hotels in the Bahamas. So when I came to Abaco, I'd already been to almost all the family islands. So just meeting people, I love to meet people. And when I got the job here, our former director, our first tourism director, Baltram Battle, he came here with his family, and I served him breakfast. And he tell me, you know, you're an success. They never, this is this place, you know, your job line is this type of work. And that inspired me to see the tourism director in the day. You know, in 82, that's a long time. So that inspired me more. Working here and being Debbie is what you see is what you get. That's me. And once you meet me, you won't forget me. That's the type of person I am. I make it special, just to make the guests feel that, you know, they're wanted, they're loved, they're welcome. They come here, give them a tipsy tail drink and start the conversation, you know, make them feel at home away from home. And the Green Taylor Club is the place to be.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Macklin Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Well, the effects of climate change are real. Our Corbell Python spoke with a professional. The story on the way.
Plus, Urban Renewal has launched a girls' club for the empowerment of the country's fairer sex.
It's Wednesday. What does that mean? Well, it's time for Leno's Wealthwise.
And coming up in sports, let's take a look at some baseball over in Andros.
Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Marcellus Hall.
And I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Well, another rainy day, LaDawn. Let's dive right into the news here tonight. Well, the current weather system is a reminder of how vulnerable we are to the effects of climate change. We know already that what the global collective is attempting to address this crisis, but of course tonight a local expert says there are wiser decisions we can make on an individual basis. Corbell Python reports.
At a macro level, there's a global effort to reverse the effects of global warming by ensuring the planet's temperature does not exceed the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold. Other agreements like the Paris Accord hold countries to account for their roles in adding to climate change. The Bahamas, like many other small island developing states, is in a perilous state if the current track continues. The weather we are currently experiencing from Hurricane Milton, which is not even making a direct hit on the country, is a further reminder of important decisions that all of us need to make.
I really do think that we need to be smart consumers, smart citizens, smart people who are developing our nation.
Environmental Planning and Protection Director Dr. Rihanna Neely with a warning for what all of us can do to reverse the impact of climate change.
If we are building in low-lying areas, and much of the development is unregulated, much of this is unregulated. If we continue to cut down our forests at the rates that we're doing that, all of these environmental ecosystems are serving a function. And for us, in many instances, it's flood mitigation and stormwater protection.
No immediate changes, and this environmental scientist says we face a catastrophic future.
If you remove these safeguards, then we will begin to see more flooding in our low-lying areas, more flooding in those areas that didn't flood before.
Corbell Python, The Bahamas Tonight.
In an initiative aimed at fostering female empowerment and self-confidence, Urban Renewal has officially launched a girls' club dedicated to training and mentoring young women. As part of the program, our West Calix Forbes was invited to speak on the vital topic of hygiene, a crucial aspect of health and self-esteem for young women.
With this girls' club, we'll groom them into being young ladies and trying to steer them along the right path. Because if we could change the way they think, then we could change the way they are, and then we'll be able to get better citizens, better mothers, better daughters, better wives.
But I'm so excited that Officer Ford gave me the opportunity to share with young girls about hygiene and just share how important it is to have a group where they can come and learn girlhood, womanhood as they get older and stuff like that. And I think that this initiative is amazing because, you know, some people don't have this, and I feel as if this will grow to be something bigger and I just want them to continue the good work, and I would love to be a part of anything else that they have going on.
Now, during the presentation, West emphasized the importance of personal hygiene as a foundation for self-confidence. She discussed practical tips on maintaining hygiene, addressing common misconceptions, and encouraging open dialogue about female health issues. At the end of the girls expressed their gratitude for the initiative, highlighting the positive impact it has on their lives.
I joined not too long ago, and it's been a great improvement on me. And I've learned a lot of things about hygiene, purpose, and all of that. The teachers are great, the guest speakers are great, and the students are great. So being to come here and to get along with females, because certain people you can't get along with, it's been great.
I would like to have partnership with a lot of other places who can go out and help us to get these girls where we want to get them. Right now we are trying to get uniforms for them so that every Wednesday when they come out here to Girls Club, they can be uniformed. So if I can have someone come out, get us some yellow shirts, some khaki pants, or some nice little pretty skirts and some tennis, I good.
Well, still to come, it's Leno's Wealth Wise Wednesday. Stay close for your financial advice.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
October is farming, trick-or-treating, and saving with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Country Barn mayonnaise, 30-ounce, $3.69. Distinction Long Life milk, assorted, 1 liter, $2.29. Kellogg's giant-size cereals, assorted, 23 to 28-ounce, $6.39. Yellow onions, 3-pound bag, $2.89. Baby back spare ribs, $3.39 per pound. Before October is over, shop and save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Hey, are you looking to save for a big purchase or occasion? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond, and I am guaranteed to earn interest on your money with terms ranging from 1 to 6 years. Government savings bonds are safe, and for as little as $100, you can start to save for your future. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond, and I'm available to any Bahamian, guaranteed. Go to the Central Bank website and search savings bonds for more details.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
I've been shopping JBI Healthy Choice Coconut Milk for years.
And I've been using the JBI jerk seasoning for quite some time now, maybe about 4 years.
And whenever I get my JBI jasmine rice, I love to pair it with the JBI kidney beans.
I've been using JBI kidney bean with coconut milk for about 10 years.
I enjoy using the JBI product. I love the green pigeon peas, especially on a Sunday when I have to cook that family meal. I've been using it now for a few years. My family love it, and we all enjoy it.
I normally make my own jerk, but this is the next best thing.
Try JBI. And I want to wish you a happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, JBI.
Thank you, Bahamas.
Exuma here, all captured by our drone pilot, Neville Smith. Let's take a look now at what's going on the Family Islands.
Family Island News is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Well, as the northern Bahamas prepares for Hurricane Milton's wrath, Works Minister, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, is assuring residents that flooding should not be a long-time problem. He says work is already underway to ensure that all drains are cleared on both islands, which can withstand the heavy rain that's expected to come along with the storm.
In regards to today, as well as tomorrow, you know that contractors have been contracted by the Ministry of Works to ensure that drainage, not just in Abaco, but Grand Bahama, are cleaned. They are making sure that the drains that have more flooding and that are more prone to flooding are the ones that we deal with first, but both islands we're dealing with.
Well, we all know that saving money can sometimes feel like an impossible task, but experts at Leno say it doesn't have to be. On this edition of Wealthwise, our Devontae Hanna shows us how to be smart about savings.
Being smart about savings means setting goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. These principles can help guide you towards saving more, even when it seems like you don't have much extra to put away.
One of the first things that you need to do is you come and sit and speak to a financial advisor, myself. One of the first things we'll do is we will examine your budget. First of all, create a budget if you don't have one. And what that means for us and us together is that we'll sit down, we're gonna identify whatever your income it is, identify your expenses, and trust me, I will find a way to cut your expenses. When we cut your expenses, we'll identify savings, and then those savings will actually be used to achieve your financial goals.
It's all about making small, consistent choices that align with your financial goals.
Take $1. You're drinking sodas every day, that's $1. After a year, you'd have saved about $365 if you stop. We take that same $365, we invest it in an account that's pays 6%. We don't add anything else. This is just simple interest. Do you know after 5 years, you would accumulate almost $500? After 40 years, you're gonna accumulate almost $4,000.
To be smart about savings, set specific goals, automate your savings, and track your progress. Making small, daily changes can lead to big results, and adjusting your goals along the way ensures you stay on track.
If you are committed to savings and improving your financial situation, come and speak to the expert at Leno. I can guarantee you and I can promise you it might not be easy for the first year or two, but if you stick with a plan, I promise you your golden years will actually be golden in terms of financial freedom.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Some excellent advice there. Thanks, Devontae. Let's check in now with Marcellus with a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus.
Well, Dawn, coming up in sports for tonight, the island of Andros trying to take steps to ensure baseball crops start to come from that particular island. Coming up in sports.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
We here at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while doing my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been?
Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not Newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you can be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in your car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. Your car up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
We have more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the Sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country.
We have the most years of Bahamian history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more news and local programming. We're simply the most, the new ZNS.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most, the new ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Baseball starting us off tonight as the island of Andros now taking steps to get its young people involved in that sport. Our Charles Fisher has the details.
Excitement and energy was on the ground with the Central Andros 6 baseball camp at Queen's Park. Players from as young as 4 years old to over 15 taking part. Cecil Penn Jr. on getting the exposure for the aspiring major leaguers.
We've been taking the past following weeks on the weekends and working with all the kids, trying to get them up to power and back to speed. We've been on a halt since the pandemic, but we're coming back strong.
Baseball legend Mario Ford also on the island to share his expertise and instruct the players.
What these kids really need is the basics of the game. Everybody trying to teach these kids other than the basics, so the game doesn't change. The players do. The skills are the same. You have a lot of kids who are just looking for something to do. And when I spoke with Mr. Penn, I was telling him, once you can get your different age categories going, then you start from there. Even if you have 2 teams at each one of those divisions, you start playing.
Rochelle Mackey, happy to see Andros getting their share of exposure.
And it is so important that we highlight the children of Central Andros, well, Andros in general, because we do have some children also from North Andros. And they are so passionate about sports, and it is about time that they get the exposure that they deserve. So I am more than excited.
Good to see Andros swinging with baseball and looking forward to seeing them at the Nationals in 2025. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
All right, thanks, Fisher. Still with baseball, the Bahamas Baseball Association announcing its coaching staff that will lead the country's national baseball team into action at the upcoming 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup beginning later on this month. That's going to be at the Andre Rogers Baseball Dam. Jerron Sands will serve as team manager with Mario Ford, Albert Cartwright, and Ken Adley. Other members of the coaching staff also on hand, including team trainer Trey Smeeting. He will have a lot more details from that coming up for you tomorrow, so please stay tuned for that. And that's it. You checked on sports for you here on this beautiful Hump Day Wednesday. Of course, we do have that Wednesday weather forecast just ahead. Stay with us.
Bahamas, are
you ready? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Raking Straight Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Van Shaw, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Braces Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Raking Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Harvest, Halloween, and huge savings? That's October at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.15. Western corn oil, 48 ounce, $6.99. Mott's apple juice, 64 ounce, $5.29. Sweet watermelons, $5.99 each. Whole chicken wings, $1.89 per pound. Case price, $54.99. Before October is over, shop and save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. Mathematics is a subject that for many comes with anxieties. A recent 10-year review of the results of the GLAT indicates a national underachievement in math. To improve the teaching and learning of math throughout the country, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training recently signed an agreement with Sapphire Education and Communication Development Services, a Bahamian math consultancy firm. The firm will conduct a study over 1 year to discover the root of the challenges and to find necessary solutions. Every child deserves the best opportunities to excel. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs.
Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine one.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast, and Milton now about to make landfall between Tampa and Sarasota, Florida. You can see on our radar picture the eastern eye wall already moving inland, and that is where you'll find those maximum 120 miles per hour winds. 1 or 2 feet of bands you can see passing just to the west of Bimini, and that has some heavy showers and thunderstorms associated with it. But all of that will be lifting towards the north, so we should be pretty much in a good shape tonight through tomorrow. The forecast movement of that northeast at about 17 miles per hour. Right now, we're going to take a look at your boating forecast, and it's brought to you by a live business where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwestern parts of our country, south to southwest winds, 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Your low tide, that takes place at 8:29 tonight. In the central and southeastern islands, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. But tomorrow, we will see a significant increase in those winds, particularly in the extreme northern parts of the country. Winds south to southwest, 20 to 30 knots. They will be gusting up to 40 knots at times. Wave heights very rough at 8 to 12 feet over the ocean. Now, your low tide tomorrow takes place at 7:23 in the morning, with your high tide at 1:50 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Thursday, southwest winds also increasing 15 to 20 knots, so caution flags go up for the central and southeastern islands tomorrow. And as we take you into Friday, we'll see a northwest component at 15 to 25 knots, so a decrease in those winds. Wave heights down 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. Low tide will occur at 8:20 in the morning with the high tide at 2:54 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, west to southwest winds, 12 to 18 knots, the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Oh, yeah. This is your boy Bloody. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You come to tell you all for some crap. I want no bamboo. I don't want no heat. I don't want no dirty scum to stuck between my teeth. I'm feeling.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a complete weather forecast.
All right, thanks a lot, Baz. Well, nothing but rain, floods, and all kinds of bad stuff in our forecast.
I know, right, Marcellus? The weather has been definitely gloomy, so let's turn to Amatea Cunningham for a little bit of sunshine. Here's Let's Talk Socials.
Hi, social media lights, and welcome back to the one and only trustworthy place for your social media news and updates. Today, I'm gonna grab a chair. And I'm gonna have a seat. Cut the music. We're talking something serious here. Are you sitting down? You might want to sit down for this one, especially the makeup girls. All right. The big news is Rihanna's Fenty line, inclusive of Fenty Beauty, Fenty Skin, and Fenty Perfume, has hit the Bahamian market, specifically in John Bull. Every Bahamian makeup influencer is running, not jogging, but running to get their hands on these products. As we know, Rihanna, singer, business owner, and actress, is known worldwide for her Billboard hits and makeup products. The makeup mogul was born and raised in Barbados. However, although the brand has been released since 2017, it's just now being distributed in the Caribbean. Take a look.
It's Rihanna, and after all these years, I could not be more excited to announce that Fenty Beauty and Fenty Skin are finally going to be available across the Caribbean and in my home country, Barbados. Fenty Beauty and Fenty Skin were inspired by my own beauty needs, and of course, growing up in the Caribbean, I know you will all find something that works for you.
Now, I don't know about you guys' feed, but all I've been seeing is Fenty Beauty. So, vote in our daily polls. Are you guys going to try out the newest Fenty products available locally? Check out ZNS Digital's page to vote. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials.
All right, well, that's a wrap for our Access Now for tonight.
Yes, it's time for us to mosey on out of here, Marcellus. So stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. Good night, everybody.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Are you ready for the hardest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout. Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
We've heard you. We know you're tired of the reruns. We're coming back, bigger and better, on The Legal Brief. I'm your host, Ramona Farquharson. Stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs.
Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine one.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
It's time to grow your church. Time to extend your message to all the islands in the Bahamas, into the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to the world via the ZNS app and website. It's time to broadcast your church's services on ZNS TV. To help you with that, ZNS has some exciting new packages with very good prices. It's time to call 502-3813 for details.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
How do we get this island of Grand Bahama to continue to bounce back?
We now have to personally own our economy. So again, we have the government along with the Small Business Development Center is pushing entrepreneurship, funding.
Excellent.
You know, putting heads in beds is so important for our entertainment industry, and we believe that Grand Bahama has that presence.
How do you get something you've never had? You're going to have to be prepared to do something you've never done.
We're coming for y'all again.
Are you ready for the hardest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout. Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown, with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And Lyford Key, I'm Tanya Smith Cartwright. This is ZNS.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Watching Hurricane Milton. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Florida is currently in a state of emergency, bracing for the impact of Hurricane Milton, which is expected to barrel down on our neighbors to the north as a major catastrophic storm. As we keep a close eye on this powerful system, the northern Bahamas has been placed under a tropical storm warning. This means that conditions are favorable for the development of tropical storm force winds within the area, prompting residents to prepare for potentially hazardous weather conditions. In this special broadcast tonight, we're here to guide you through what you can expect over the next 36 hours. While we urge you not to panic, and that is the goal here, not to panic, our goal is to ensure you are fully prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. Now, last evening, the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, urged residents of the northern Bahamas and the surrounding Keys to take precautions ahead of the approaching Hurricane Milton. Though the storm is not expected to pose as significant as a threat as a direct hit from hurricane, the Prime Minister stressed the need for vigilance and preparedness. Here's that report.
The Net Office advises that as Hurricane Milton passes over Florida, tropical storm winds will be experienced on Abaco, Bimini, and Grand Bahama, and as I said earlier, the surrounding Keys.
Tropical storm conditions, including heavy rainfall and possible flooding, are expected in the northern Bahamas between Wednesday, October 9th and Thursday, October 10th. While Hurricane Milton is not predicted to make landfall in the North Bahamas, Prime Minister Davis urging residents to stay informed and pay close attention to updates.
The broadcast alert system has already been activated on all mobile phones in the country. Please pay attention to the alerts and follow the advice given. ZNS and other news outlets will broadcast further alerts and updates as they are issued.
The northern Bahamas is no stranger to severe weather, and the Prime Minister stresses that there is no need to panic, as the projected path of Milton suggests the islands will avoid a direct hit. Despite this, Prime Minister Davis encouraged residents to focus on staying safe, even in less severe conditions.
If your home is at risk of flooding, go and stay with a friend or relative whose home may not face such risk. Stock up on water, food, batteries, and so on, as you would when facing a direct threat of a hurricane. Clear anything from your property which may be blown around in the wind. Protect your doors and windows. Raise your furniture or other household valuables off the floor in case of the flooding. And of course, and more importantly, protect yourselves.
The Prime Minister added that Bahamians have weathered such storms before and emerged resilient. He urges everyone to remain vigilant, prepared, and ready to act if necessary.
Our government stands prepared to take every necessary measure to protect lives, property, and communities. I want to thank you, and may God continue to bless and protect the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Joining us live now for the latest is Senior Met Officer Trinard Tynes. Trinard, thanks so much for being with us. Can you give us the latest on Hurricane Milton?
Basically right now, thank you for having me here. What we're looking at with Milton at this present time, Milton is still offshore, just slightly offshore of the western coast of Florida. It should be making landfall between Sarasota, Florida and Tampa Bay. We're anticipating that to be moving onshore sometime in a few hours or so. What that spells for us here in the Northwest Bahamas, it means that we are experiencing some increase in the winds and speeds at this present time. On the outside of the studio, the trees are starting to sway a little bit. Persons in Bimini should be feeling winds roughly about 20 to 25 knots at this present time. And then later on, tonight, Grand Bahama, West Grand Bahama will start to feel the same type of wind speeds that Bimini will be experiencing. On top of that, we are going to feel the strongest part of this system will be tomorrow, where we are anticipating to be its closest to the Grand Bahama area, some 160 odd miles to the north, and we're hopeful. Models are showing, the latest models were showing that the storm will become a strong tropical storm just north of the area sometime tomorrow. So it's showing some good signs at this present time.
And so tonight, I know you mentioned some of the wind knots for persons who are living in those low-lying areas. Should there be any concern at this particular time?
At present, right now, no, not at this time. But we are anticipating that the winds are going to increase significantly tomorrow. So if you do know that you experience some flooding in lower lying areas, basically we are telling persons, if you know your area, just monitor what's going on, and if you do see any that is not threatening, because once again, we're not anticipating a major category storm moving through. None of the deaths. We are expecting on the south side tomorrow, the seas are going to move up to the high water mark for sure. And then as the day progresses, it may, in certain areas that are prone to flooding, like road areas that are going to be partially covered in certain areas. But we're asking the residents, you know, it's mostly going to be during the day. So the good thing about it is during sunlight. Right. So you'll be able to see what's going on. Don't panic. The worst is going to be around lunchtime or so. So just take your time, follow the procedures and process by the ministry, and everything will be all right.
I know it's been a busy few days for you. There have been several meetings, and you've been meeting with officials as well. But what preparations should residents be making? Should there be any preparations at this time? I know you said that we won't feel any direct hit, but should there be any preparations, any more preparations at this time?
No, absolutely. We are a nation that are familiar with storms. Basically, what I like to tell people is just a rehearsal. Right. So just do what you know and just be safe, and just, again, follow the news media from the meteorology and follow whatever the government agencies put ahead, and you'll be fine.
Now, I looked at some satellite imagery of this storm earlier today. This is huge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is, I mean, humongous. What kind of impact versus the last storms that we've had in the past would we be experiencing in Grand Bahama, in Bimini, and Abaco from this storm?
Basically, we are anticipating tropical storm winds, for sure. And like I said, for us, Bimini is going to feel the effects of it first, and then West Grand Bahama, then Central, then East, then the Abacos. This storm is actually picking up speed. Earlier today was roughly about 12 miles an hour. Now it's up to 17, between 17 and 18 miles an hour, so which is very good for us. Okay. You asked the question of storms of the past. I know a lot of persons were concerned about Dorian. Right. And rightfully so. Dorian was a very devastating storm. The thing about it is, Dorian came from a different direction. Right. Dorian became stationary for several days, and Dorian was a Category 5 storm. Right. And plus, it was over Grand Bahama and the Abacos. This system, we're anticipating that it's going to be, like I said, some 160, 170 miles to the north of us at its closest point. For residents in Walker's Key and North Abaco, it may be a little closer, 120 miles or 100 miles away. It puts us directly inside the tropical storm field, but it's outside of any devastating hurricane force winds.
So for residents of Grand Bahama, Bimini, Abaco, those in the Northern Islands, how long will we be feeling the impacts, and when will it be safe to say we're in the clear?
Well, we are hopeful, and the forecast models are showing that we should be feeling less of the effect come Friday morning, going into Friday around lunchtime or so. That's what the latest models runs are showing at this present time. Things can change. When we say change, we're looking at the strength, because right now, the earlier model runs were showing that it was going to be a hurricane, a strength, Category 1 hurricane up until Friday morning before it started to downgrade to and that would put it to the northeast of Abaco. Right. The last run at 5 o'clock, it showed that it was going to be a tropical storm just to the north of Walker's Key. So that's very promising. It shows that the movement over Florida really had a major effect on the system.
Would you say that it's been a pretty predictable storm thus far? A lot of persons were concerned that because we're not in the cone, but we're close, and anything can happen. We talk about these storms, they do, I mean, unbelievable things when they get near our waters. Absolutely. And so there's been some concerns that this may shift a little bit and things may happen. Should that be a concern at this time?
Well, that is always a concern. Even though we're not inside the cone, we still have to be vigilant. Right. However, since the start of the storm, the department and other meteorological agencies, we were on top of it. The models were very, very good at this, predicting the path of the system. It did wobble, and the reason for the wobble is because it's a major storm. Right. When you have strong storm, major Category 3, 4, and 5, especially storms, the storms will wobble. But it stayed true to its path. It went directly to the area that we anticipated that it was going to go from about a week or so since we've been tracking it, and it's been following the path. The only difference is that the system is expected to become a tropical storm earlier than we predicted earlier, so which is a good sign.
Okay, and just before you go, I just want you to reiterate for our viewing audience, tonight we'll feel some initial impacts, but tomorrow we'll feel most of it, and give those times for those in Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco, and mainly the northern Bahamas.
Okay, Bimini should be up to about 25 knots at this present time. West Grand Bahama, we'll start to feel it later on tonight. Then the rest of Grand Bahama should feel the increase just before sunrise tomorrow. Then throughout the day, Grand Bahama will feel the stronger parts of it, like around, let's say, about lunchtime, I said earlier. Right. And then Eastern Grand Bahama should be feeling the effects around that same time as well. And then Abaco should start feeling some of the effects sometime on late Thursday going into Friday.
Okay, there you have it. Chief Meteorologist Renard Tons joining us live, giving us an update on Hurricane Milton. Now, with the tropical storm, I know you have a lot to get to, and I'm sure we'll get back with you later on, probably tomorrow as well, as the storm continues to make its way. Now, with the tropical storm warning in effect for the extreme northwest Bahamas, residents on Grand Bahama are not taking any chances and stocking up on the bare essentials. Our ZNS News team took to the streets to see how shopping has been going. Here's Shane Stubbs with that report.
Residents aren't taking the tropical storm warning placed on the northwest of Bahamas lightly as Hurricane Milton prepares to make landfall over in Florida. Here in the downtown area, residents are doing their last-minute shopping for food items, taking every precaution for what's to come.
While the threat is not as significant as that of a hurricane threat posed to our neighbors in Florida, we still need to take it seriously.
With official warning going forth, some residents sprung into action, gearing up with the bare necessities.
We're here getting some water and some canned goods and some unperishable stuff, just in case if we get an impact.
Most of us, we have our children, grandchildren, and so, you know, call around, make sure that they're good.
Some gas, water, bread, and stuff like that, you know. I don't want to go overboard because, you know, sometimes get too excited and you do overshop.
Meanwhile, at appliance and hardware stores around town, managers noticed an even flow of customers, indicating that there was no overshopping. It was a welcoming sight to see everyone not taking chances.
And what they're doing is they're making sure they have at least the basic essentials.
They are coming in a little slow, I guess, waiting at the last minute. Preparation is always the key. You know, it's best to have it and don't need it, and to need it and don't have it.
Now, while forecasters are predicting life-threatening conditions for our neighbors to the west of us ahead of imminent landfall, residents are sending out their well wishes and prayers, as we're all too familiar with the catastrophic effects of such a powerful storm.
Well, I pray that they be ready for the storm, and I pray that they evacuate like how the government and stuff tell them to evacuate.
I am very phobic when you hear of this kind of thing, and then hearing that it will hit the coast with approximately category 4 or 5, that's still fresh in my mind.
I just hope and pray that God spare and protect the people in Orlando. I mean, we've been through it. I've been through it with Dorian, and it's no fun. It's hard, it's tough. You know, so I just hope and pray that they're safe and they make it through it.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks so much. Well, joining us now is the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxy, who has been directly involved in the preparedness efforts and the coordination with agencies. Welcome, Minister. You've had a busy few days assessing the island of Grand Bahama. Just quickly give us a brief assessment of what has been going on in those meetings that you've been having with those in the EOC.
Right. So Monday morning, first thing, we had to call together all of the administrators on the island. We have 3 administrators for East, for West, and for the city of Freeport to ensure that we were on the same page. So we quickly called that meeting, started to analyze what needed to be done, and then later that day we called a meeting with the Grand Bahama Disaster Consultative Committee. And from that point on, you know, we got the ball rolling because, again, you know, we've been through this many, many times before, but we needed to ensure that all was in order and that the committee had all of the resources that they needed. There's an EIC, that's the Incident Command Center in 8 Mile Rock at the at the Obadiah H. Wilshcombe Complex, and then there's the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, here at the Harold de Gregory Building. So it's all in order, and just excited to see everyone working together to ensure that the information gets out there. You know, ZNS is in the building, and we're communicating with the public on what's going on.
And it's a multi-agency approach. There's a lot of, I've been down there earlier today, there's a lot of people down there who are working to ensure that the island remains safe and that you're ready to respond in the event of any emergency. So kind of assure residents, some of those who may be panicking right now, because I know a lot of people still feel that post-traumatic stress from Dorian, but I must say no stone has been left unturned as it relates to preparedness, especially with those in the EOC.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, all hands on deck, and as the Minister for Grand Bahama, we try to ensure that all of the resources that they need, they have. And so we've been communicating with the Ministry of Works, so we got all the drainage going in the West Grand Bahama area in particular. We also are ensuring that, you know, with the PHA, that's the Grand Bahama Health Services, they're there, social services, making sure we get all the shelters together that are required. And I believe tomorrow morning, if necessary, you know, we're going to make sure all are opened. They will be opened. And the police is there, the Defense Force is there, and everyone just working in tandem to ensure that our people are ready, our people are prepared, that the emergency lines are open, and that we're able to respond.
And you mentioned the drainage. I know that they've been down there earlier today, because that has been a major concern for many persons in that area. But that was sorted out today. Persons were down there draining those systems, so they shouldn't have any concerns.
Absolutely. Thank you to the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs.
And preparedness is key. We've been, you've been preaching this from Monday. How many, when you went into those areas, give us an idea of what you've been seeing. Are the persons really prepared? Nobody taking this storm lightly?
I don't think anyone is taking it lightly, but I didn't see panic.
Right.
You know, in the very beginning, you saw a little bit of it, you heard a little bit of it, but now I think everyone's settled, because I would also say that our senior meteorologist, Renard Tynes, he's done an excellent job with educating. Because even me, this morning, I was a bit, you know, on edge, and he just calmed our affairs, and basically he educated. Because I think a lot of us go on what we've experienced with Dorian in particular, but then with all the other storms as well, you know, Francis and Jane and Wilma and Matthew. So it was great for him to really just explain what's going on so that we can all understand. And for those who are a part of the EOC and the ICC to be able to educate their own community on what's going on.
And were there, from your assessments in those areas, were there any particular challenges that you may have faced that you came across that you were able to address before the storm actually hit?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, I went in and I wanted to make sure that they had what they needed. And so if they asked for it, we made sure that they were able to get it. And I think we're on the right track, ensuring that we provide all of the resources from a central government standpoint on what's required for the communities.
Absolutely. And you talk about those persons that you saw. Was there no panic today? We had a reporter who went out into those communities today, and she spoke with some of the residents who were getting themselves prepared, making those last-minute adjustments and those last-minute preparations and those last-minute purchases, but there wasn't no panic.
There was no panic. I didn't see the panic. Now, there are calls. You know, we have certain residents who need certain things, and we try to fulfill those, especially me as a member of parliament. So although I would have, you know, spent a lot of time in West Grand Bahama and throughout that community dealing with drainage and other issues, of course I had to go into the Pine Ridge area to make sure, you know, the constituents' needs were met as well.
Absolutely. So we have a report from our Cleopatra Murphy. We're going to keep the minister here. We have a lot to talk about, a lot more to talk about, but we're going to go to a report from our Cleopatra Murphy, who spoke with some residents today just to get an idea of how they were preparing for this tropical storm, which we will be experiencing in just a few hours.
After the high flood waters of Hurricane Dorian, Grand Bahama residents are leaving nothing to chance, taking advantage of free sandbags from Bahama Rock to mitigate against potential flooding by Hurricane Milton.
We need it because you don't know how much flood it can be, and to block off the doors. Yeah, I appreciate the sign.
Although not overly concerned about the mega storm, Jermaine Murphy says it's better to be safe than sorry.
I just hope that we hope the best for Grand Bahama. People are still in recovery mode from Dorian, so I hope that this storm, this isn't as devastating as the last one is. I don't think it will be, but just take safety precautions, just an event that it is.
Water is also a priority for residents. At Bahama Pure, Supervisor Jason Larimore says customers keep coming.
Business has been booming. As you can see, we don't even have any more water on the shelf. Normally on Monday and Tuesday, we just had a line from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. So we're just trying to make sure everybody gets water. Because it's in high demand right now.
One of those customers is Henry Lewis, who is wrapping up his storm preparation.
I have everything. This is the last thing I have. But I haven't buttoned up anything. Just water and grocery. I'm ready to go.
Hurricane Milton is expected to hit Florida's central Gulf Coast overnight, and officials predict it could be one of the most destructive storms on record. Although Grand Bahama is not in its direct path, the island is expected to experience strong winds and heavy rains, so residents are urged to take all necessary precautions. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
And so there you have it. Although we're not getting a direct hit, you see the residents in Grand Bahama not taking anything lightly. And I think that's like you said, because we've been through this before.
We've been through it before, over and over again.
Over and over again.
Yes, yes, yes. And so we're, and we are still recovering.
Absolutely.
Because Dorian was devastating, and I think the memories linger on when we hear even the strongest rain,
yes,
drops. We become a bit concerned, but they're not taking it lightly. They're out there doing what they have to do to prepare, and we want to support them in what they're doing. So I'm very happy to see the EOC in full operation, and as we're there, sometimes you hear the calls come in.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
I know what that's like when you get those calls, and it's just persons wanting to make sure that they're safe and just wanting to hear a calm voice on the other end of the phone, because that's what keeps them assured that this is going to be okay.
Absolutely, and the role that ZNS plays in all this, from a little girl, I can recall, just waiting to listen to ZNS to hear that, all will be well, or to know where the storm is.
Yes.
And, because that's what the community listens to.
And we will certainly do our best to keep our viewers and everyone informed. Now, we are just basically in day one of prepping for what we are about to experience. What's tomorrow looking like for you? What's the plans?
Well, the plans is we come back to the EOC and we continue to monitor where the storm is. Of course, things can always change, and so we bear that in mind. But we listen to the meteorologist. Like I said, we've been getting some excellent advice from the senior meteorologist here. And we continue to inform, we continue to be here, we continue to wait for those calls to come in to see what, residents are saying.
Absolutely. And I read your press statement earlier this week, and you made sure you pressed on the fact that there's no need to panic. Kind of just assure residents once again that we've been here before. We talked about resiliency, and I think we've kind of grown tired of this word.
No, we are the home of resiliency. Grand Bahama Island is, again, because we've been through it all.
Yes,
we've been through it all, and we continue to recover. We continue to rebuild. And, the government is here. The government is here to support and to provide the resources that are necessary. And so I'm thankful also to the Disaster Risk Management Authority that's, spearheading all of this. The EOC is actually controlled by them. Like I said, we have the 3 administrators who are part of it on the island. And we have all of the various government agencies, the utilities company, and those that, are the ones that are the essential services that are required. So I think we're in good hands here. And everything is actually in the same building.
Yes.
ZNS is here, so the communications is here, as well as the EOC. So we're going to ensure that we get the word out and that we keep our people safe.
Absolutely.
Because that's the key.
Absolutely.
ensuring that they're safe.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Minister, for taking time to be a part of our special show tonight and for also giving sage advice to residents of Grand Bahama. Once again, the Emergency Operations Center on Grand Bahama is now fully activated, and residents in need of assistance can contact 351-4902 or 351-4903. When we come back, you're going to hear how West Grand Bahama is preparing for the impending tropical storm impact of Hurricane Milton. Stay with us. You're watching Milton, and we'll be right back.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
JBI, lemon and lime.
One of the best products you can find anywhere. This is one of my favorites, and I have lots of favorites at JBI.
This is very rich. I put this in everything, whether I'm baking, whether I'm doing peas and rice, coconut and rice, or you're doing some curry and you want your cream to be in your curry, you can do everything with that.
Oh, I love this with my nice lime. It goes with my tuna salad. When I put that lime and that great food, spicy food I love. So try JBI, lemon and lime.
Try JBI. Happy anniversary to JBI.
JBI to the world.
Thank you, Bahamas. That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians. Bahamians helping Bahamians.
On down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Don't miss the 25% National Heroes Day sale at Park & Shop, excluding underwear and red tag items this October 11th and 12th. The Paint Fair family has made the move to their new location on Bellevue Lane off of Queens Highway. Visit the store and join the selfie competition to win free paint to remake your home. Follow them on Instagram or Facebook for all the details today. Calling all vendors. The 2025 Grand Bahama Chunk Canoe Parade vendor applications are now available. Collect your application from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture on Region Center East, West Explorers Way. The deadline is October 18th. For more information, call 351-6667. It's KB and Friends live in concert at the Grand Lacayan Ballroom Sunday, October 13th. Gates open at 6 p.m. and the show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets are $60 in advance, $80 at the door. Sponsored by the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry for Grand Bahama, and Extreme Auto.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352.
Welcome back to our special live coverage of Watching Milton. Joining us tonight is a lady who is playing an integral role in ensuring the safety of all residents in the event that there is any emergency before, during, or after any storm. Office of Disaster Management Unit in the Ministry of Grand Bahama. Tammy Mitchell is with us now. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And really just give us your role as the Office Administrator with the Disaster Preparedness Committee.
Okay, well, again, you would have heard our minister spoke a couple minutes ago, but my role as a part of the Ministry for Grand Bahama team, I'm assigned to the Disaster Management Unit. And what that entails is that as a part of the Disaster Consultative Committee, I'm the liaison person for our ministry with all of the government and private sector partners in disaster preparedness and response needs for the island of Grand Bahama.
Okay, and this is, you are someone who is no stranger to storms. Since I started here in 2018, you've been a familiar face with NEMA, and you're here again. Is there anything different at this time around?
There is definitely 100% more support from the entire emergency support function groupings. We have seemed to band together even more so, and I think that played a part because we all would have gone through Dorian, and we all would have suffered significantly in different realms. But I see we have more teamwork, particularly from the Ministry for Grand Bahama team, because I'm new to the team somewhat, but to see how they've pulled together and went out there with me, picking up the supplies, dropping off supplies, getting equipment ready, getting the EOC ready, working along with the government agencies to make sure that whatever their needs are, we're doing all of that here in the Harold de Gregory building.
And that's good to hear, because I remember some years back, it's been a challenge getting persons to volunteer and volunteer their time to be a part of the emergency response teams to be out there. So that's no longer a challenge at this time.
Well, that would always be a challenge, because one thing with Grand Bahamians, and we know it's okay, because once those doors close, it's a different feeling when you don't get to go home. Like we're allowed to go home the last 2 nights. We're allowed to go home tonight. Tomorrow night is a different story, because we don't go home until this thing is actually out of our way. So we're actually sleeping in here tomorrow night, and we've already prepared ourselves for that. But the need for volunteers, particularly in the emergency center, or even out there to help with the supplies, dropping them off to the shelter, setting up the shelter, that will always be something that we would have out there, a plea for that, because volunteers are always needed.
And for persons who may be interested in volunteering their time, how do they go about doing so?
Well, there's 2 steps. They can actually contact the administrator's office, which is Mr. Kenrick Cartwright, and give him their information, leave their contact numbers, meaning their phone numbers, their cell numbers, or their email addresses with his office, and say that they would like to be a volunteer. There's a volunteer register that's being kept. And then, for example, like how when the emergency operations centers are active, they can call us even tonight and say, hey, we want to put our name on the list so that if you do need help in the future, we can, you know, I'm making myself available. And I just want to give you a little tidbit with that. We have another active phone line for the Emergency Operations Center. Thank goodness BTC was able to come out today. So along with the 2 numbers that you are already giving out there, 351-490-2, 3, and 4. Those lines are all active for the Emergency Operations Center, 351-490-2, 3, and 4. So we want to thank BTC for finally getting that sorted out for us today.
Absolutely, and those emergency lines are important.
Yes, and they are ringing.
And people are calling in?
Yes, they're calling, they're asking us about the weather reports, and thank goodness we have somebody like Trinad who is spending that time with us, and he has been awesome, coming there and going everywhere and sharing the message about what's going on with the weather. And they're asking for questions like, you know, where can they find tarp, or they're asking about business closures. And I want to say a special thank you to the business community as well, because we've been getting a lot of their notices that we've been posting, even through the Ministry for Grand Bahama, and also giving it to them via phone of all of the business closures, the office closures. So it means that on top of Grand Bahamians getting really prepared for, this is just a tropical storm. It shows that they have been listening, they have been heeding the calls and taking no matter what it is, whether it's a tropical storm or an actual hurricane, they're taking heed and doing the necessary steps to protect life and property.
Is it different this time around than times past when it almost seemed as though it was a tug of war to kind of get people to prepare themselves for what was coming, and those times we were facing hurricanes, but now a tropical storm, and it seems as though there's no longer a struggle to get people to prepare themselves.
Yes, I actually feel a little less heavy. Because I think, and I think too, it goes back to Dorian as well too. People saw what we went through with Dorian, and anytime I think there's a threat of a storm now, they are taking it more serious. I've even seen some places battening up today, because we went by Dolly Madison, and one of those, I saw them putting up shutters on their doors, which is a good thing because you never know. So that is awesome to see that people, and that's what we want. We want people to not take it lightly, because as we know, it only takes one.
Right.
And a tropical storm could quickly turn into anything, but we always want to hope for the best, but always prepare.
Always prepared. That is the message. Well, shelter management is extremely important and falls under the purview of the Department of Social Services. Our Raven Davis is joining us live now with a representative on what you should know if you are in need of a shelter. Raven.
Good evening. We are coming to you live from the Emergency Operations Center at the Ministry for Grand Bahama's Collab Unit. Now, for several days, we know the relevant authorities have convened here to ensure that the necessary protocols are in place and to ensure that the island is ready in the event that the storm does shift and give us a direct impact. Now, joining me live on the broadcast is Chief Social Worker, Miss Pauline Bowen-Forbes, rather. Miss Forbes, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Talk about the essential role that the Department of Social Services plays in the event that we do have a storm.
Social workers are also considered first responders. What in essence that means is that we are also responsible for preparing the shelters, having them prepared so persons, if they need to be able to have a place of safety, they can be able to go to the shelters. We are instrumental in having the shelters prepared ahead of time as it relates to having them inspected and fully prepared for activation. Where we come in, like I said, we are first responders, also mobilizing our team to be able to respond in the community as the needs become necessary.
You mentioned shelters. Not all of the shelters have been activated. Why is that?
Basically, based on the fact, because we got the information that the system would not be a direct hit to Grand Bahama, which we are thankful for. We just wanted to be able to have some of the shelters open and available should persons become somewhat traumatized or want to be able to have a place of safety. I want people to also understand there are persons who are living by themselves, such as the elderly or other persons who may not want to ride out a system or anything close by within the area by themselves. And so they can be able to go there, as well as we have persons who are still saying that they have situations where their homes are leaking or what have you. And so because of that, they may feel more safe in the shelter rather than being at home. But like I said, we don't anticipate, based on the Met Department, that we would be directly impacted. However, we opened some of the shelters to be able to address the needs of persons who may be need to be placed in shelters. The reason why we didn't open all, because we did not see the necessity as it relates to the fact that we're praying and continuously praying that we don't have a direct hit. However, if it becomes necessary, we have our teams stand by and ready, and all they're waiting for is a call from the department to be able to say mobilize them and have them ready, up and going at the shelters. But all shelters have been prepared.
Mrs. Bowen-Forbes, which shelters are actually open at this time?
Presently, we have the special needs shelters, which is we know as Christ the King. That is open for persons who may be bedridden or have serious ailments. We also have the St. George's Gym. That is ready for persons on the outlying areas and what have you. We have the Maurice Moore Primary School, which we always say that we reserve, especially for persons who are living in the East area. If they don't have anywhere, they need to come down to the Maurice Moore Primary School. And we also have the 8 Mile Rock High School Gymnasium that is also ready as the largest community to be able to receive persons down from the western area.
Now, in the event that we do have some flooding and additional shelters do need to be opened, what is the protocol to have those shelters open, and how soon can persons actually get into those shelters?
As a matter of fact, if we need to be able to have them, that's why we are going by the updates that is given by the Met Department. And once we know what is impending, we're not going to wait till the last minute. Once an update is given and we know if it's likely to come our way or what have you, we will be able to have persons up and ready before the system really gets that bad. And that's why we're paying very close attention to what advices the Met Office is given. And I would advise persons to also pay special attention to that. It may not be a direct hit, however, it doesn't hurt to be prepared.
What should persons bring to a shelter?
As it relates to coming to the shelter, we always ask persons to remember, bring your essential. First of all, I would say especially persons who are on medications, who are on meds, bring your medications. If you have whatever ailment that you're dealing with, once the doctor has diagnosed you to be on medication, make sure pack those first and foremost. Bring your food, bring your water, any other items that you may need to make during the time that you're there to make it comfortable. You may need to bring your blanket. You may need to bring a little pillow. Also, you may need to bring just a cot to be able to lay on. Remembering that as it relates to the Department of Social Services, persons have been asking all day, are we responsible providing foods? We are not responsible for providing while persons are in the shelter. And so we encourage persons to bring all the necessary items, especially their food items, their water and whatever else they are bringing. And especially persons who have children, don't forget to bring along the toys that you may need to keep your children comfortable while they're at the shelter. But we jump into place as it relates to giving emergency food after the system would have passed if needs be.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Bowen-Forbes. And I know you said that it's not too late, actually, for persons to become volunteers or a part of the shelter management team, rather. But for now, tonight, we'll be on the ground monitoring the latest developments on this impending storm, but reporting live from the Emergency Operations Center here in the Harold de Gregory building at the Ministry for Grand Bahama's Collab Unit. I'm Raven Davis, sending it back to you, Rico.
Thanks so much, Raven. And there you have it. A lot of information given just now, and I particularly like that she said once an update is given, they are ready to move. Yes. And like we said earlier, everything is set up and everyone is in one area. What I want people to understand is that what she's referring to when she says the update, they're not getting the calls over the phone. The weather official is right next to her. She's right in the room with them, and so that update is coming like that, and they're ready to move at the drop of a dime.
Exactly, and that's the process about being in an emergency operations center. You call all of the partners together, and everybody who from their specified area or their job, they're there to give direct information, to receive direct information, and send it out to the persons who need to move and activate as quick as possible. That's a team.
That's a team. Are these some of the lessons that we've learned from the times past?
Yes, we've been learning them, since Floyd and right up to Dorian. Everything that we have done since I've been a part of the disaster committee, and I've been a part of the committee since about 2006. So everything that we have learned, we continue to learn more. We continue to be proactive rather than reactive. We continue to share information. We continue to train with one another, and that helps us to stay as one unit. We're all supposed to speak as one voice and act as one unit. So it's a team effort, and it's always going to be a team effort, despite what may go out sometimes.
Despite what may go out. Yes. You talked about training just now. Talk about some of the training that you guys undertake, because it's not overnight training. It's something that is ongoing, and keeping yourselves well-versed in what's happening with these systems.
Yes. Yeah, well, definitely everybody goes through training, and I would have mentioned earlier in another newscast some of the training that I would have gone through as what I would call myself a first responder as well. So, for example, I would have done Emergency Operations Center training. I would have done Incident Command Center training. I would have done shelter management training. I have done school safety management training. I have done swift water rescue training. I have also done damage assessment and needs analysis training. I have done initial damage assessment and needs analysis training. All of these are things that have prepared me over the years to now be a certified instructor who is able to now teach others in the Bahamas as well as other countries. And some of the countries that I've actually had the opportunity to assist with their training is Belize, St. Lucia, Barbados. I, as a Bahamian, have been called to help them train others because of the fact that because of our region and our close-knit, we work as a team, and what they are taught in the Bahamas, what we're taught in the Bahamas, and they're taught in Belize and St. Lucia and Jamaica and St. Kitts and St. Nevis, is the exact same standards that we're taught here in the Bahamas, so that if we have to go to their country to respond, we all have the same training methods.
Thank you so much, our very own Tommy Mitchell. We will be hearing a lot from you tomorrow. It's always good to have you on the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back after this with our Jay Philippe, who is coming to us live from West End with updates. Stay with us. We're back after this.
Hi, I'm Derek Stubbs.
And I'm Cindy Russell. ZNS 810 AM presents
Grand Bahama. Get ready for the event of the year. Experience a live recording of one of the Bahamas' leading gospel ensembles, Shabbat, on stage with some of gospel's greats, along with the Grand Bahama gospel community. Sunday, National Heroes Day weekend, October 13th, 7 p.m., Jubilee Cathedral, East Settlers Way. It's a free event. Don't miss an experience of a lifetime.
But it doesn't stop there. You can be a part of the largest music workshop and coming together of the island's best in creative arts. Register today by scanning here or get an application from your local church. The Grand Bahama Music Workshop begins Wednesday, October 9th at 7 p.m. nightly through Friday the 11th. Sessions for choir members, praise teams, dancers, musicians, sound technicians, and media operators. The nightly sessions followed by a mass choir rehearsal to record special songs at Shabbat's live recording.
Monday, October 13th. Due to the logistics and unstable weather pattern, we had to take it inside the Grand Ballroom. I'm a boatman. Featuring KB, Gino D, Nishi LS, T-Mac, Sweet Emily, Elon Moxy, Funky T, Lil Joe Cartwright, Sherrod Taylor, Wilfred Solomon, Veronica Bishop, Stevie S, Mama D, Colin McDonald, Papa Smurf, Shine 242, Recon Bahamas, Shad Gully and the VIP. Special guest from Turks and Caicos, the Provision Band, and host Super P. Sunday, October 13th at the Grand Ballroom. Doors open at 6 p.m. Showtime at 8 p.m. Admission $60. Tickets are available now at Pennyworth, Brenda's Booth, Coffee's on the Bay, Gizmos and Gadgets, and Signature Choices. For more info, phone 819-2233 Bahamas and 649-231-0018. TCI, I'm a boatman. Sunday, October 13th at the Grand Ballroom. KB and Fred.
Sponsored by the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry for Grand Bahama, and Extreme Order.
Welcome back. Well, with the West Grand Bahama community is prone to flooding, our Jay Philippe was in that community all day, and tonight he joins us live with the latest. Jay, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Remiko, and good evening, Bahamas. I spent most of the day in West Grand Bahama. I'm currently at the Obadiah Wilshcombe Government Complex, where the ICC is located now. The ICC is the Incident Command Center, and I'm joined by Administrator from West Grand Bahama, Leonard Deems. Tell us exactly what's the function of the ICC?
Yes, as you indicated, we are the Incident Command Center, and at this Incident Command Center, what we do, based on the instructions from the Met Office, along with the DRM Authority, they gave us the cue to activate. When we activate, as you would notice, that we have persons here who answer the phone. We ensure that we give out all of our emergency contacts to the public, so that if in the event they are in distress or they're going through a situation as a result of the storm, that they would call into the emergency center. Once they would call into the center, based on the nature of the call, we have persons from different emergency support functions. For example, they are from all of the government agency, departments, and ministries. And if someone has a medical situation, we have nurses and we have doctors on site. So they can actually walk them through their problem until there is an all clear. And once there's an all clear, then they would be able to go out and attend to them. So the ICC is very important and critical when it comes to disaster, because this basically is the nucleus and the hub of all of the controlling movements within the district.
What about the hurricane shelters? I know the 8 Mile Rock Gymnasium was recently renovated. Can you give us an update of the hurricane shelters in West Grand Bahama?
Yes, we have 8 hurricane shelters in the West Grand Bahama, and I've noticed earlier where somebody gave a report from Social Services. They are also published, and we have received a report just recently to activate the 8 Mile Rock Gym. That is the biggest shelter within our district. So that has been activated as of 8 o'clock. So persons who would find themselves in a situation where they need to come out, that is presently activated at this time.
There you have it, Leonard Dames, the West Grand Bahama Administrator. I've spent the entire day in West Grand Bahama. Some drainage were cleaned early on today, which gives access and passage so that in the event of any flooding, things can be handled appropriately. I'll be here all night at the Incident Command Center in 8 Mile Rock at the Obadiah Hercules Complex. Back to you in studio, Remiko.
Thanks so much, Jay. Well, in news from Abaco, residents on that island are preparing for tropical storm effects prior to Hurricane Milton. Island Administrator for Central Abaco, Kefian Ferguson, says that she believes the devastation from Hurricane Dorian was a wake-up call to residents as they are preparing as if the hurricane is hitting Abaco directly. Here's that report.
As we are hours away from experiencing the outer bands of the massive Hurricane Milton, residents on Abaco are taking heed to the warnings. The Family Island Administrator for Central Abaco says that Hurricane Dorian was a wake-up call. Now residents on the island are making the necessary provisions to prepare.
Being started right away from we got the heads up about being in the warning. They started doing shopping at the various grocery stores, stocking up on hurricane supplies.
Just yesterday, Abaco experienced flooding due to clogged storm drains. Island Administrator Ferguson says that the DRMA officials are currently on the ground working diligently to rectify the issues. Ferguson also adding that the main shelter in Central Abaco is now activated.
So we did have some flooding in areas such as Murphy Town, Central Pines, and Marsh Harbor area. Yeah, due to those block drains. Activated one of the main shelters that is at Central Abaco Primary from last night and advised occupants at the trailer park, the RVs, that it was open and they could have reported.
Now the DRMA is providing and distributing tarps to residents who are experiencing leaking in their homes. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shelia Roll.
Well, meantime, residents on the island needing assistance during the storm can contact the incident emergency numbers that is listed on your screen at this time. In Central Abaco, you can contact 810-0266. Over in Bimini, the numbers are can contact the Incident Command Center that is now activated. The direct numbers for that disaster committee group, 727-2143 or 446-0131. Over in Bimini, residents can also contact the Island Administrator at 727-2143. Alistown Police Station at 446-0131. Bimini Clinic at 473-8030. Well, as Hurricane Milton approaches, BTC is crediting its prepaid and postpaid customers 3 gigabytes of data to ensure residents can stay connected. And the telecommunications company also closed its offices at noon and will resume operations Friday. BTC's Northern Bahamas Executive Senior Manager Dominic Petty says BTC is working to ensure its mobile service stays up throughout the storm as long as possible, having serviced and fueled generators in various sites in the Northern Bahamas in the event of any power outages, while officials have worked to ensure fixed services are stable. He also addressed the service recent instability.
Did have some downtime with the second generation plant where we actually refreshed that particular critical site. So we have a brand new generator there. Just to ensure that, a lot of that up and down doesn't happen, particularly when the power goes off. So what we have done should have stabilized a lot of the instability that was experienced in recent times. So we feel pretty confident in that regard.
Councillor. Now, we reached out to Alive on storm plans, but received no comment up to news time. Joining me live on the newscast now is psychological trauma surrounding Hurricane Dorian. It lingers with many Grand Bahamians and Abaconians. Tonight, we invite Dr. Andy Lang, clinical consultant at the Grand Bahama Resilience Center, to calm the fears and help navigate residents through the next 24 hours of severe weather. And I'm sure there are plenty of fears, considering what we have been through in the northern Bahamas, especially in Grand Bahama and Abaco. Welcome to the show tonight. Firstly, for persons who may be experiencing some stress disorders from those past storms, what are some of the coping mechanisms that they could utilize at this time?
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. And I want to say that there is a very real phenomenon called storm anxiety. And a lot of people experience it when storms are approaching, during storms, after storms. It is a very real phenomenon. Now, given what Grand Bahama has been through, our history with storms, I suspect, I don't know this for certain, but I suspect that there are a lot of persons walking around in our communities with undiagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder stemming from Hurricane Dorian and perhaps past hurricanes. For persons who happen to fall into that category, or even if you're not post-traumatic stress disordered, right, but you still tend to get a little anxious when storms are coming, there are some things that you can do. The first thing is you want to not overexpose yourself to news reports, especially as they relate to storms, okay? Of course, you want to be informed, you want to be updated, but you don't want to overexpose yourself to that barrage of information that's coming in. Secondly, you want to stay connected. And by staying connected, I'm talking about staying connected with friends and family members, church brothers and sisters, persons from your faith community, staying connected with these persons. You also want to ensure that you're getting facts. The information that you're getting, you want to ensure that you're getting it from credible sources. You want to take care of your body during this time. So you want to ensure that you're eating properly, that you're sleeping properly, that you're exercising, that you are engaging in activities that are relaxing, whether it be meditation or listening to music or whatever have you. And then, of course, you want to engage in self-care. You want to especially take care of yourself, as this can be a particularly stressful time.
Absolutely, and it's not abnormal for persons who experience traumatic experiences like Hurricane Dorian to have those kinds of feelings. I know for a fact that there's some people that the sound of rain may bring back some memories that they don't want to hear, and they may just want to go in a dark room because they don't want to experience that.
Yes, and so the thing with storm anxiety, or even if there are persons who have undiagnosed PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, there are certain events that can serve as triggers, okay? And these can be things like weather reports, gusts of wind, rainy spells. And if these are your triggers, you have to recognize that these are triggering for you, and then you have to have a plan for how you are going to deal with these triggers. Now, in terms of dealing with triggers, there are any number of ways that can happen. But the one that I like to suggest to a lot of persons who happen to be in similar situations or who tend to suffer from anxiety is to focus on their breathing. It's very important, because when we become triggered our sympathetic nervous system is essentially activated, and that is the part of our nervous system that prepares us to take action. So either to fight, or to flee, or to freeze. So what you want to do is you want to activate the opposite system, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. And one of the ways that you can do that is by focusing on your breathing. And so by taking deep, even breaths, okay, not rushed, very deliberate, very intentional, focusing on your breathing. And you do that for about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And that should activate a parasympathetic nervous response that can help you achieve a state of calm.
Absolutely. Just before we go, because I think we have a minute left in the show, is there a number that persons can contact to get help if they feel like they're going through these experiences?
Absolutely. So, like you would have mentioned in your intro, I am a counselor with the Grand Bahama Resilience Center, and we may be contacted at 602-5118 or 727-4244 or 443-8083. And of course, there are other agencies in the community that persons can also reach out to. The Department of Social Services, 352-8847 or 8, as well as Health, Social, and Psychological Services at 350-6700.
All right, Dr. Andy Lang, clinical consultant, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and I'm sure you would be utilized during this time as we continue to ride out this tropical storm. I want to thank you for joining us for this special edition of Watching Hurricane Milton. As we wrap up tonight's broadcast, remember that staying informed is key to staying safe. We encourage you to monitor local updates and follow the guidance of emergency services as the storm approaches. Also, follow our Facebook page at ZNS Northern Service, where we post up-to-the-minute information on Hurricane Milton. On behalf of our entire team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay safe and stay tuned.
I like Johnny Cake, yeah, where my fish do what I do.